So, 239 games of Championship football have been played in this 2020-21 season. How is the current Championship table looking to what I predicted the final Championship table to be all the way back in September? Let's go and look at it. What's up everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. A new video that's not my score predictions or my reviews. The first one of those I think you've seen in nearly 2 months now, so it feels weird that I'm back in this setup. But I've decided for a separate video, I'm going to compare my predictions to the current Championship table. 20 games have been played for most Championship clubs, so we've got a pretty good idea of what the table could realistically look like in the final day of the season. Also, let me know how you guys are doing with your table predictions. I got a stack loads of comments on that video as well. It's my most viewed, most liked, and most commented video, so thank you guys for the support on it. But if you guys want to see more videos, please make sure you do give this video a like. It tremendously helps the channel. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It really made my day. We're 354 subscribers. Let's try and push for 400. I made a bet in live stream actually. If I got 400 subscribers before the new year, I would do a video and a live stream drunk, and I'm not even exaggerating. I will definitely do it. And to do that, please share my video to as many people as you can, YouTubers, friends, anyone that may like my content. All of that would really make my day. Without any further ado, let's start comparing the table. So on the left hand side, just in front of the Christmas tree, is what the current Championship table is looking like. So there's quite a few teams that you would expect to be up there. Of course, Norwich and Bournemouth taking up the top 2 places, and then with the playoffs you've got the likes of Watford, Swansea, Middlesbrough potentially being a shocker there, but you've also got Brentford up there as well. And with the bottom 3 you've got Derby, which may be a shock, Sheffield Wednesday and Wickham. And this on the left hand side is my Championship predicted table. I'm going to start by revealing each team one at a time. So 24th I predicted Wickham, and that is exactly where they finished so far. This may be the only team I match in terms of this current table, and to be honest, I'm not too happy about myself on that. I think anyone with their wives and best friends dogs could have predicted Wickham to be in this position, although I don't think it's a guarantee they'll finish 24th, but I think, if I'm going to be honest, in terms of performances, it may be where they may finish. So this may be a prediction I might get right. 23rd, I predicted Rotherham. Rotherham are very, very close to that position. They're currently 21st, just outside the relegation zone, having played a game less though. They do have a very important game against Derby that they have got postponed as well. To be honest, I don't think that I'm going to be too far wrong with this near the future. I think with Rotherham, they've got good performances within them, but they just don't have it in a consistent level, which has been a common trait of Rotherham. So if they can fix that, then maybe Rotherham can prove me wrong there. 22nd place, I had Sheffield Wednesday. Now they're 23rd, so I'm only one position wrong with Sheffield Wednesday right now. And right now, I've almost predicted a perfect bottom 3 in terms of the current Championship table. But with Tony Pulis at the helm, and the fact he got his first win as the Sheffield Wednesday manager as well, maybe this could be the start of the incline for Sheffield Wednesday. But I think they'll be in or around that position throughout the whole season. It's going to be an ultimately tough season following that they had the deduction. Luckily, they had it reduced, which is going to heavily aid them. Maybe Sheffield Wednesday will be okay. So now the teams outside the bottom 3. 21st place, I had Coventry. Coventry right now are currently 18th, so I'm not that far off with Coventry at the moment. Coventry have been a team that look fantastic at home, but away from home, they look really, really poor. If they can fix their poor away form, then I think Coventry could even finish higher than 18th place. I do still think Coventry will finish in or around of what I predicted, so I'm not too disappointed with that prediction actually. 20th place, I predicted Luton Town. Now this is one of the first ones where I'm thinking I'm not too sure that I've done a really good job predicting, because they're currently 14th, 6 places higher for what I originally predicted. Luton under Nathan Jones just seem to be getting results in a consistent manner, which is why they're up in this position. They had a couple of dire performances, but you don't get them as often as you did with Luton Town last year. And because they had a dodgy start last year, that's why you would have seen them in this position around Christmas time last year. But I tell you what, Luton have been one of my biggest surprises so far this season. Definitely have done a much better job than what I originally predicted back in September. 19th place is Huddersfield. Now maybe I did predict Huddersfield to finish a bit too low. They're currently 12th in the top half of the table as well. In the beginning of their first 2 games, I thought I might have actually predicted Huddersfield to finish too high, but now all of a sudden they needed their 1 win against Nottingham Forest under Fraser Campbell, and now they've got full of confidence. They can score goals. Defensively, they're still a bit shaky, and they're still looking to recruit in the January transfer window. They've been looking quite busy so far in the transfer window. I think Huddersfield can definitely sustain this form. If they do have a drop off, then maybe my 19th place prediction may not be that bad, but yeah, I'm already dreading about this one in the end of the season. 18th place, I predicted Barnsley. They are currently 13th place in the table, 5 positions out once again. Not a brilliant prediction, but not a terrible prediction, I would say. I think under Gareth Struber, I would have definitely predicted Barnsley finishing 18th to be a bit too high because they were struggling, but they chopped him off like very quickly, quicker than I expected, and under Valerian Ismail, they seem to be getting results under him now, especially at home. At home, Barnsley look like the old Barnsley we associate, getting good results at home, and maybe Barnsley could even push on that position. They definitely got the capability and the squad for it. I was a bit concerned about the squad and the players they brought in, which is why I did put them down in that position, but I say Barnsley are achieving in or around on par on what they should be achieving right now, 30th place, and I think Ismail could potentially push them into that next level, which will be a huge achievement for Barnsley fans to achieve with this club. And then to an outright terrible prediction, me predicting Reading to finish 17th, where they're currently 8th. Oh my goodness me, 9 positions wrong with Reading. I tell you what, at the start of the season, I just got constantly reminded that Reading, I predicted them to finish 17th and they were currently first place and looking like they were going to cruise the league. 17 positions wrong that would have been. I don't think they'll win the league now, unless they do a miracle turnaround and Norwich have a drop-off in form. But I think Reading, they've definitely got the capability and the manager and the squad to be in and around the top half of the table at least. You know, if they don't finish in the top half of the table with the start they managed to have, you've got to question that. How on earth could you drop that low into form? But they definitely could have the capability of finishing top 6 as well. It's just going to be a question whether if they are still going to sustain with their injuries and still be as clinical going forward as they have done at the start of the season. In 16th place, I've predicted Queen's Park Rangers. One of the few sides I've actually predicted a bit high at the moment. Queen's Park Rangers are 19th place right now, not in a great run at all, not winning in their last 7 games. So Mark Warburton will definitely be feeling the pressure. He definitely needs to win their game on Boxing Day. Elias Chair and Brighter Side Samuel are still getting great performances out of his Queen's Park Rangers sides, despite a lot of teams taking quality out of their teams, such as Eberechi Eze. But Queen's Park Rangers definitely got performances within them. They just don't seem to be getting the results. Ultimately, it's been a bit turbulent for Queen's Park Rangers this year, but if they could just fix their form, they could definitely improve. If they don't, then they can definitely be in a precarious position. In 15th place, I predicted Birmingham. Only just a bit too high of what they currently are at the moment. They're 17th at the moment under Aitor Karanka. Overall, I don't think Birmingham are going to slump. I don't think they will. I mean, Aitor Karanka is an intelligent enough manager to make sure that Birmingham don't drop further down the table. But maybe we probably expected Birmingham to do a little bit more, especially with the signings they made. They made some really good signings, Jonathan Lecco, Mikel San Jose, where they've looked good at times, but unfortunately they've not been able to be, you know, the winning formula for Birmingham. So, I don't know, give them a couple of games so maybe Birmingham could turn their season around, but one bad result and Birmingham look like they are plummeting again. So, 17th place they finish right now. Definitely, I think they should finish higher with the squad they have. It's going to be interesting to see where Birmingham go after Christmas. In 14th place, I predicted Blackburn. Now, a lot of people said at the time, I predicted Blackburn to finish way too low, although I'm only 3 positions off of their current position right now. They're currently 11th place on the table. And Blackburn, undoubtedly, on their day, one of the best championship sides you can see. But at the back, I still think they have a load of problems that they need to address. And their game management needs a lot of improvement as well. And I think Tony Mowbray really summed it up for the fact that he was disappointed for the fact that with Stoke's only 1 shot on target, they score from it and they can't create any more opportunities. They can't allow that. You know, they need to limit the opposition to as little power as they can. And for the fact they allowed Stoke to have this 1 chance, they took it. And because of that, they sat back and the game ultimately decided against their favour. I think Blackburn are capable of finishing higher than 11th and 14th for what I predicted, but it's just going to be depending on results, and maybe my 14th place prediction may not have been a bad one as most people may have expected at the start of the season. And then to another pretty dire prediction, I predicted Middlesbrough to finish 13th place. Oh dear me, I mean I had no faith in Neil Warnock, didn't I? But he's working his magic. Middlesbrough in the top 6. And to be honest, I don't see Middlesbrough finishing out of it. I think Middlesbrough are a very strong favourite to finish top 6. You know, you may think I'm crazy for saying that, but especially at home, I don't see any side getting anything out of a Riverside right now. It's going to be their away record, which is going to define if Middlesbrough can stay in the top 6, although they had a terrific away performance against Birmingham. You know, they had a poor away form before that game, and then all of a sudden they score 4 past the Birmingham side. I don't concede much. I mean, these are the sort of results you see in the Championship, and Neil Warnock managed to get the result that Middlesbrough really craved away from home, and I think Middlesbrough, the only way is up with them. I'm really excited to see what Neil Warnock can do. And yes, 13th place, I don't know what I was thinking. I just wasn't confident in the squad that if they were going to show the same characteristics under John Woodgate. I should have thought logically about the impact of Neil Warnock and not thought about his Championship season with Cardiff where he got sacked. 12th place, I predicted Bristol City. Now, following their start of the season, I thought this was a terrible prediction, but following their slump of form recently, they're now 9th place. So now my prediction doesn't look all that bad with Bristol City. Although I think Bristol City fans would be absolutely off their minds if they think they can finish 12th place following the great start they had. And it's just going to be a same old story of Bristol City having their streaks and they're having their good and bad streaks. You know, I just don't think any manager can fix it. I think it's just a fundamental mental problem. I said fundamental and mental together, but I mean it. It's a fundamental problem with this club. It doesn't matter what manager you have in charge. You're going to have good patches and bad patches, but you need something within to stop the bad patches, you know, affecting the squad as they have done. And unfortunately, I think that means that my prediction of 12th place may not be an all bad prediction. One of my better ones, actually, I'd say. Only 3 positions out, not bad on my part. 11th place, I predicted Preston. They're currently 15th place right now. I mean, why I predicted Preston to finish above Bristol City based on their performances, I have no idea. Although Preston did beat Bristol City last game, actually, so maybe that was not the best analogy for me to use. But Preston have been so inconsistent, it's actually crazy. One minute they can look like one of the best teams of the Championship, on one other day they can look like one of the worst teams of the Championship. They're so unassuming. And I think definitely with more consistent squad depth, which will help with the amount of injuries that they have, then they can definitely consistently perform at a higher level. It's so frustrating with Preston because there's something clearly there, but it doesn't always click. It's like hot and cold. And I think that consistency can help with the much improved squad depth, which means they need to spend money in this transfer window and not just get Emil Reece-Jacobson, which was their only signing in the summer window. Although, to be fair, Emil Reece-Jacobson has been okay when he's had to play a part up front. 11th place as a prediction, maybe not as bad as I thought, especially if Preston can have a good run of form near the end of the season. 10th place, I predicted Stoke. They're currently 7th place right now, so this has not been a bad prediction for me either, really. To be honest, with a lot of these sides, you know, I'm not getting many right. You know, Wickham's the only one I've got spot on so far, but there's only been a couple of teams where I've been really wrong. I'd say Reading and Middlesbrough have been my 2 worst predictions so far. But in terms of all the other ones, they're in or around like 3 or 4 places out, which is not that bad considering with the Championship table. And Stoke's another one. And I did think Stoke were going to be comfortable top 6 finishers, but unfortunately, I think with the injury of Tyrese Campbell and the void they're going to have to fill from that, I think will affect them. I think they will be spending in January, needing to get a striker to definitely fill into Tyrese Campbell's boots, which will definitely improve their chances of getting into the top 6. In terms of my 10th place prediction, they could definitely finish down there, especially if results don't go their way. But I'm a bit proud, actually, for how close I am with them. And then, of course, I say I'm not doing too bad. We get a couple of real crazy predictions. We start off with Bournemouth at 9th. They're currently 2nd place. I got to hold my hands up. I just wasn't confident with Jason Tyndall as manager. If you looked at his previous managerial history, he's barely managed in the English Football League level. But you've got to give him credit. You know, he's worked with his Bournemouth squad. They know him well, and they're performing under him. And I think that's going to really help Bournemouth in terms of getting promotion. I definitely think them and Norwich are very strong favourites of getting promoted now. It's going to be interesting to see if anyone like Watford, Swansea or Brentford can catch up with Bournemouth, because I think they'll be their biggest rivals to get into that 2nd place spot. But I think Bournemouth are more than capable with the squad they have and the talent they have and the depth. I think Bournemouth can definitely get promoted. Yeah, 9th place was just awful prediction on my part. But then you get to 8th place, which is Derby County, and they're currently 22nd place in the table. Oh dear me. That is most definitely my worst prediction so far. So where did I predict them to finish? I predicted them to finish 8th. That's 14 places difference. I mean, Philip Cocu just couldn't do it again, couldn't he? He really run out of ideas. And I think what was the case, and I think I previously mentioned it, I think with Koku's style of play, I just don't think Derby were grasping it. It could be the way how it was communicated. It could be for the fact that the squad's not quite good enough in quality to do that. But also, they don't look like they enjoy playing this style of football. Wayne Rooney's come in, and to be fair to him, since he's taken over as manager, Derby have not been beaten since. So maybe my 8th place prediction may be a little bit more fulfilled in the second half of the season. But Derby are going to have to do some miracle run of form to get into 8th place. It's possible. You've seen Fulham be in around that position and then go all the way up into the top 6 places. But definitely one of my worst predictions, probably my worst prediction in this whole entire table. And in 7th place, I've got Cardiff. And Cardiff are currently 10th, so I technically just need to swap Stoke and Cardiff around in terms of my table predictions. But a lot of people said Cardiff will finish top 6, but I just don't see it really. I don't see a squad that can deliver results consistently enough. Last season, to be honest, you didn't need to score too many points to get into that top 6 place. And Cardiff, whilst they did look good at times, they just weren't consistent, but they still managed to get the wins when they needed them. And that's how they got 5th place in the end. And I just felt the top 6 were just going to go to the people with the best consistency. And with Cardiff, I think they will fall short for top 6, although they do have the capability and the squad for it. So now we get to the top 6. So 6th place, I predicted Millwall. Another one with Derby, a really bad prediction. Millwall right now are 16th place, which is 10 places off. So that and Derby are the only 2 predictions that I've got a difference of 10 places off. Millwall have been a really weird side to me. They look good in the beginning, but then all of a sudden they can't score goals. And then a winless streak comes, and then eventually they look good again, and then they slump. There's a little bit disappointed with Millwall. They've been my biggest letdown so far. I honestly thought that Millwall do have the capability of finishing the top 6 with the squad players they brought in. It's been a bit frustrating following that some of them have got long-term injuries. But there's no excuses really. I definitely see this Millwall squad being a very capable side of getting into the top 6. And it looks like Gary Rowett is not quite working his magic there. But we'll see how he can do with the second half of the season. If anything, I do back Millwall to be more likely to finish in around my position than I do with Derby at the moment, following their contrast of positions in the table. But I'm a little bit disappointed with Millwall. I thought they'd do a little bit better in my prediction. In 5th place, I put Swansea. Swansea are currently 3rd, so definitely not a bad prediction on my part. Definitely thought that they were going to be a top 6 team. Pretty proud about that one, only 2 places off. And I think, especially if we see the likes of Brentford continuing their unbeaten run, that can put Swansea down a place, and especially if we see Watford improve with their new manager, their 5th place may almost be confirmed for Swansea. And in 4th place, we've got another pretty bad prediction. Nottingham Forest, 16 places off, that they're currently finished in 20th place in this part of the season. They've got Chris Hughton as manager, who's had a fantastic record where he's been in the Championship, but it's not quite been as smooth sailing as it has been in the past for Chris Hughton. So I don't know what to make with Forest really. I definitely think they can improve, but do I really see Nottingham Forest getting up there in the top 6? No. I mean, if anything, I don't even see them finishing top half at the moment. So a bit disappointed with Nottingham Forest once again. I think my worst predictions have been Millwall, Derby, Nottingham Forest and Reading. Those 4 predictions have definitely been my worst predictions. Now we get to the top 3. 3rd place, I got Norwich. Bit disappointed actually. I thought I put Norwich top 2, but I actually looked back at my video and I say this. Forgot to mention with Norwich, they've still got Todd Conway, they've still got Ben Godfrey, they've still got Jamal Lewis, albeit I think Jamal Lewis will become a Newcastle player very soon. But they've got Max Aarons as well, maybe I should have put Norwich to be a little bit higher. Why did I not bother to change the graphic and just put Norwich 2nd? I really would have been much better. I mean, to be honest, they're 1st, and I do think Norwich will finish 1st. I'll be very surprised if they have a drop-off, unless they've got a load more injuries to their squad. They've just got the better squad depth and quality. They've prepared for this, Norwich. When they were getting slapped in the Premier League, they prepared for this Championship season, and it's paying off big time for them. 2nd place, I predicted Brentford. Brentford right now are currently in the top 6. They could definitely finish 2nd with the squad they've got, and especially if they keep their good run of form and if they increase their great performances against tough sides. We saw Brentford beat Newcastle, a Premier League team, in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, which is now guaranteed their first semi-final competition, so congratulations to them. Brentford can definitely go up, but it's just going to be depending to their consistency, and they cannot afford to drop off like they did in the crucial moment of last season. And 1st place, I would put Watford. Now, Watford have fallen off a little bit. Ivic, as a manager, he's managed to get them pretty tight defensively, but scoring goals and in terms of dominating games have not done really well with. And I think under their new manager, Cisco Munoz, I think he'll definitely improve them in an attacking sense, which I think will definitely make the players more engaging in terms of playing their style of football. And I think with the attacking players they do have, I think they'll definitely thrive more under his system, but it's just whether they're going to be as solid at the back. That's my only query with Watford. Do I think they'll finish top? Maybe a bit unlikely, but anything could happen with Xisco Munoz. I have absolutely no idea. Watford could even go on a run where they don't even finish in the top 6 in the end of the season. So, very close to call, but that's what's so exciting about the Championship. So, that is my overall reaction to my table predictions at the start of the season to the current Championship table now. My thoughts overall, I'm pretty proud actually, I won't lie. Compared to last year, I'm actually pretty happy in terms of all these positions so far. Of course, we've got 26 games left on most of these, so a load of things can change. But right now, I'm pretty happy in terms of where I put teams position-wise. There's only been 3 or 4 teams, as I said, that I'm a little bit disappointed about. But let me know what you guys think of the table predictions in the comments down below. Any more videos you would like to see me do, please let me know in the comments as well. I'll respond to you guys as much as I can. And that wraps it up for today's video. If you guys like what you want to see, please make sure you do give this video likes, tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel, it would really make my day. And please share my channel to as many people as you can, all of that would really make my day. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary. I'll be seeing you in this video. And as always, take care.